All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Devvit live stream. This is a new format that we're trying out. We're trying out this webinar style structure. So we're going to try and do this once a month, go live, talk about what's new with Devvit, and also maybe we'll do some deeper dives on specific features of Devvit moving forward. But excited that you all joined this first one. It's going to be great. And we are really excited to have Kiro here alongside us. If you have already seen in the YouTube description. But yeah, so Kiro is going to be speaking today as well alongside us. And the reason why Kiro is here is because we are announcing today a brand new hackathon. So if you participated in our last hackathons, this one's going to be structured very similarly. It goes from today until October 29th. So you have a couple of weeks to get started. You can join the dev post right there at the bottom, scan the QR code. It will take you there as well. The theme for this hackathon and why Kiro is here is there's a Kiro piece and there is the Devvit piece. And so for Devvit, really what we are looking for in this one is community play. So games that bring the community together, either that's through synchronous real-time interactions or asynchronous interactions, or kind of really all the different ways that you can interact together on Reddit. I will have some examples of some great community play games that we have today to give you kind of a path forward as you're trying to think about what you want to create. But again, October 13th to 29th, you got a couple weeks to build this out. So community play, that's one half of it. And then the other half is the Kiro developer experience. So this is all about how you integrate Kiro, their AI IDE, into your workflow to make your life easier. We'll go a little more in detail about like how you can do that and give you some ideas there as well. The Kiro team will talk to that a little bit more a little bit later too. But with that said, we have $45,000 in prizes, so a lot of money up for grabs. 15,000 of that is going to go towards the best game in that community play category, and $10,000 for the best Kiro developer experience. We also have a bunch of money available for honorable mentions, and also money available for a helper award. If you're just helpful to other devs during the hackathon, you can be a participant for that award as well, and then giving us feedback on the full developer experience as you're building out your projects. So really excited to be announcing this. The judging criteria, this is all again on the dev post, but I'm just kind of covering it really quickly. Really, there's a couple different categories that you want to think about when you're building your game for this hackathon. We have delightful UX. So really, is this an enjoyable experience? Obviously, it doesn't need to be perfect. This is a hackathon. You have 2 weeks to build it, but we want to be able to really see like what is engaging about this app, what is fun about this app, did I enjoy using this app? Polish, that's another big piece of it. This one's really about the project that you submit. How far is that project from actually launching? So if you submit a project and you only need another week of work and we can put this in front of everyone on Reddit, that's great polish. Part of that also comes down to that first screen experience. If you've seen games on Reddit already, you know that there is a launcher that launches you into the game. That is called a splash screen. So a really good first screen is a big part of that polish too. Another component is Reddity. We are building games for Reddit because we want games that make sense on Reddit and to really enable users of Reddit to have a new experience within our platform. So you want to, when you're thinking about this, you know, how does your game actually make sense on Reddit versus other platforms that you could be building for? You know, Reddit is full of communities that interact together and communities that really want to share and work together and do all of these different things centralized around a specific interest. So this is, you know, how does your app kind of fit into that mold? And then the last two categories, this is really depending on what you are participating in for the prize. So for the community play prize, I mentioned it already, but it's really about could a community build around this game in an exciting way? So thinking about like, are users competing against each other? Are users working together? Is there something else where I have a reason to do a certain action in your game and then someone else will be able to experience that in a different way? And again, I'll cover some of these examples of what we've seen in the past to give you some tips there, but that's really the core of it. So community play. And then the other piece is the Kiro developer experience piece. And so really this is to make the Kiro team just wonder, whoa, why did I think I could use it that way? So, really, however you can think about doing like automations or anything to improve your workflow. As you're building out your game, you can build the entire thing in Kiro. And as you're doing that, maybe there's a specific piece of it. They're like, wow, I saved so much time because I use Kiro in this way. And so that's what the Kiro Developer Experience is prize is for. And you can submit to both the Kiro Developer Experience Prize and the Community Play Prize. So if you are working on a project that fits both, even better, and you can participate there. So with that said, that is the hackathon. For those of you that are joining that don't know what Devvit is, I want to cover that really quickly because that's a big part of the Devvit hackathon. And so Devvit is Reddit's developer platform. And really, this allows you to build custom posts, apps, mod tools, games, whatever you want that live directly within Reddit. We have a bunch of great examples of this, but really what you get by building on Devvit is you get compute. We gave you APIs. We can let you schedule jobs. You can build directly within the Reddit ecosystem and kind of all of our frameworks. We host your game for you. So you launch your game, it is hosted by Reddit. You don't have to pay for another hosting service. Reddit has you covered there. Also, one of the really exciting pieces is that it's cross-platform. When you build a game for Reddit through Devvit, you get cross-platform support for free. You are going to be on reddit.com. Your app is also going to be on the Reddit mobile app, so iOS and Android. All of that comes for free by building your app with Devvit. You also get the power of Reddit's distribution, which I think is one of the most exciting pieces. Reddit is full of users who are highly engaged on specific topics, really want to contribute to the community. Reddit is a bunch of communities, so it is people ready to engage with each other. And I think that is something where you can really see someone coming in and wanting to engage with your content. You get access to our distribution as well. I'll talk more about what that means in just a second. And so for distribution, basically when you build a game on Devvit, you upload it to a specific subreddit. You can also upload it to multiple subreddits, but you start to build your community right around your game in that subreddit. And then also, as your game starts to grow, there are 3 distinct ways that you can start to reach more and more players. So there's the home feed. So if you think about the traditional Reddit experience, that's really I'm scrolling through my home feed, games pop up. I can start to play my game right there. You can easily suck in new users, as well as I play your game, then I will see more and more content of your game. I'll be more likely to come back. So it's a really good flywheel of keeping players engaged with your game, making sure that they can discover it as well. We also have a games feed, which is basically just the same as the home feed, but specifically for games. So this is really where you're going to find your high intent users, like users that come to Reddit. I just want to play games. I don't want to look at any other content. They go to the games feed, they can scroll through, and you can find those players that are really looking to find a new experience within Reddit. And then the community game drawer, which I think is one of the most exciting pieces. This is on the left side of Reddit, if you haven't seen it yet. This is rolling out to almost everyone right now, but should be rolled out completely pretty soon. But basically, there is a community drawer on the left, which has a featured game and a couple of other featured games as well. So as your game starts to grow, it gets featured on the left. And then you are now on the homepage of Reddit, where anyone who lands on Reddit will see your game right there, be able to click on it, and be able to start the game very easily. So tons and tons of distribution options. And this is all helping to grow that community within your game. So that's really what you get by building for Devvit and for Reddit. But what can you build with? Devvit uses a traditional web framework. So anything that you can export for web with, you can build Devvit apps with. So if you want to use a traditional game engine, export for web, that can work as well. If you want to do everything in Kiro, please do. That's what this hackathon is kind of all about. So you can find both lanes. You can test that out. But really, there should be no additional work to learn new APIs. Whatever you're familiar with should be able to work really, really easily on Devvit. So that's pretty much all you need to know about building. It's what you're already doing to build, but now you just distribute for a new platform. Money. This is another big question we get, is how can I make money? Everyone wants to know when they're building their games, how they can increase player engagement and obviously continue to fund their game projects. So Reddit has, on top of this hackathon, which obviously has a lot of prizes up for up for the taking right now. There's also the Reddit developer funds, which basically we pay you based on engagement. So as more players start to play your game, then the more money you make. And you can find more information about it on the Reddit developer funds page. But we want to encourage, again, through that distribution model, we're trying to get you as much distribution as possible. And through that, then you get paid more. We also have in-app purchases. So for example, if you were going to be submitting for this hackathon, you can try and win money through the hackathon prize. You can earn money through the Reddit developer funds, and you can earn money through in-game purchasing. So you can continue to grow that as we grow your audience. And a big question that we get often, because we're offering to pay money for games. They're like, why are you even doing this? Like, why do you want to pay me for why are you going to host my game? You're going to pay me for my game. Why are you going to do any of this? And really, like, where we see Reddit, I've been saying this, but like, it's a lot of communities coming together to play in highly engaged ways. So we really want to bring the best content to Reddit. We're really excited to get great content in front of our users, and we want to make sure that that is possible. So we are willing to pay you to make sure that will happen. And so Reddit, to highlight this, Reddit will host and we will distribute your game, and we'll pay you based on engagement for it as well. So we think it's a good deal. So hopefully you do as well. So with that, I want to talk a little bit more about kind of some of the games that we've seen built so far. And so really what we've seen a lot of success with on Reddit is with daily games. So something that encourages users to continue to come back, day after day, word challenge games, that sort of thing. We've seen a lot of success there. Again, thinking about that home feed, like if a new post pops up every day, I can see it every day. I can do it really quickly, and then I can go on scrolling through the rest of my home feed. So you can find more of an audience with the home feed for daily games. Also with bite-sized arcade games, these are like really quick game loops. We've seen both success with like high intent, longer game loops, and also really short game loops. So if you think about how you use Reddit, there's times where you're sitting at home and you're like, I just got an hour to kill. I'm gonna be on Reddit for the next hour, and that makes sense for like a high intent game. Something that's going to take a long time to get through a game loop. But there's also a lot of times where you're sitting there and you're just in an awkward elevator and you need to pull out your phone and do something for 20 seconds as you kill time. And so those finding experiences that fit both of those is a great way to think about building your game to make sure that you can reach the audience where the audience is. And then for this hackathon specifically, we're really focused on community-driven games. So this is really games that allow the community to collaborate and really show the creativity of the Reddit users. So I'll dive more into those examples specifically, since that's what this hackathon is all about. But we've seen a lot of success with a lot of different types of games. So yeah, just want to highlight some community ones specifically. So for community games, the first kind of theme I wanted to mention is we've seen a lot of success with community voting games. So we have two games here I'm showing, but the first one is Daily DM, and that is basically a D&D style campaign where users can draw their character, and then certain characters will get selected to go on a campaign. And there's an AI backend that basically has decision trees that allow it to make a decision, or decision branching, which allows it to make a decision at specific points. So the AI backend will prompt it to, or prompt the story along, and then users can come in and comment completely free form what they think should happen next and what decision that character should make. And so this has been really exciting. It leans into the upvoting, downvoting mechanics of Reddit, and it allows users to be completely creative as they continue to work together to find a narrative for these different characters. And a similar story for Our Town. That is a game where you join a specific community. There's like 3 different cities that you can join, and then once you're in that city, you can freely propose different amendments to the rules of that town. And so you can decide to build a library, or you can decide to tear down all the buildings, and whatever gets upvoted in that then plays out in the next iteration of the AI backend. So both of these games really use AI in a really interesting way to allow complete creativity of the users and really make it so the community vote, and community members are encouraged to contribute to the game, which I think is a really, really cool thing. So that's one element that we've seen a lot of success with, and that's community voting. Another piece is with user level creation. So this one is like basically level builders, custom level builders. We see this in a lot of games all over the place, but really where we see this on Reddit is, so we have two games, Honk and Leapcraft, that have both really leaned in on level creation. So for Honk, it's a familiar concept, and it was finding some success on Reddit, but really once they added a level builder to it, that's when the game took off in popularity. And you can see on the left there is a post. This is what gets created when a user creates a level. So they get their Snoovatar front and center, they get their username front and center. And all of this is just, there's more encouragement from the users for the users to build new levels and new content. And it's really fun. You can make crazy, crazy things, which I'll show in a second. And Leapcraft, similarly, that is a 2D platformer where you can customize levels and make crazy experiences as well. So both of these really, really encouraging the community to contribute to the game. Here's just some examples of some crazier Honk levels. The one on the left is a Friday the 13th one that just came out. So way beyond what the developer could have thought could be created with this concept, and the community is taking it to a whole new place. So this has really allowed the community to build lore around the game, completely define a whole new experience for this game, rather than if the creator had to build each level, it wouldn't have been able to scale to this extent. One more category I wanted to talk about is drawing. Drawing, super visual, makes sense on Reddit. A lot of the content that we see on Reddit is images in general. So games that lean into drawing are also highly successful on Reddit. So we have Pixile, which is a pixel art community board. You can draw within reason whatever you want on there, and it builds out a full scale canvas of the whole community drawing together. And you can also take screenshots and post those as well, so you can share your creation. There was a really nice moment in there where there was someone asked for a purple sloth and someone drew it for them. So it's also encouraging the community to work together within the app itself, which is a really unique experience. And then One Line, this is a game that won our previous hackathon. This is, as it sounds, you have one line. You touch on the screen to start drawing, and then as soon as you touch, you can't let go, and that's the end of your drawing. And then you post that to the subreddit, and then there's a guessing experience as well. So based on someone's guess, this is my very poorly drawn rat, you can then make more guesses on other posts. And so I think what's really cool about both One Line and a Honk is that there are experiences within the game that are low intent. Like, I just want to quickly, I see this drawing, I'll do a quick guess. Or on Honk, like, I'll quickly just play a level. And there's a higher intent where I'm going to sit here, I'm going to draw something really carefully. I'm going to build a level. I'm going to spend the next hour of my time building a level. So there's something to kind of fit the audience that you want to reach. So you can really expand what is possible with those games. And so one more category I want to mention is with leaderboards. Obviously, leaderboards, they're in a bunch of games. We love them. They increase competition. They're really exciting. And I think some of the ways that you can think about building leaderboards that are more engaging for users can, and during the game, really keep the player locked into that content as well. So on the left, we have Hot and Cold. It's a guessing game. You try and guess the word of the day. The closer you are, the hotter your guess is, the further away, the lower down it is. But the cool thing about this one is there's a live leaderboard on the bottom. You can see the Snoovatars there. And so as you're guessing, someone may jump ahead of you, and because they got a closer guess. And now you're like, oh no, I have to pass them, or I'm falling behind. Or you can really easily visualize where you are in that day's puzzle. So that's a really unique way to encourage more guessing and more playing through seeing what the community is actually doing. And similarly, Mice Maze Race, this was a submission for our last hackathon. This one has like all the trails from it. I think it chooses like 10 trails from previous people who played the game, so you can see how your route stacks up. I know there was a couple levels on there where I was like, oh, I'm going to go this way. Then I see they went a completely different direction, and you can quickly realize, oh, I need to improve my time, or I need to draw around this different area. So both of these really leaning into the leaderboard as you play, which I think is another really interesting way to keep people engaged. So with that, I want to do one more plug for this hackathon. We have, again, 2 main categories: community play, examples like I just showed, really bringing people together in a unique way that is unique to Reddit. That can be both synchronous, we have our real-time functionality, or asynchronous, but really community play focused games. And you can join the dev post there as well. And then on the other side, you also have the Kiro Developer Experience Award, which is really built around how well and how uniquely you integrate Kiro into your developer flow. By signing up for this hackathon, you do get access to Kiro. So I think there's like a 10 to 12 hour lag time. So be sure to sign up as soon as possible so we get you those codes so that you are able to access it. But yeah, these are the 2 main categories. It goes from October 13th to October 29th. If you're really excited to get started, you can get started with a new project at developers.reddit.com/new. That will do the onboarding wizard for setting up a new project. But with that, I want to pass it over to the Kiro team, who's going to talk more about the Kiro Award and more about getting started with Kiro and building apps and games for Reddit with Kiro.
Awesome, Chris. I love seeing the spotlight on the community games. The shared drawing idea I thought was really cool. Everybody, hello. My name is Jonathan Vogel, and I'm a developer advocate. For everyone already imagining what you might want to build, we'd love for you to leverage this hackathon to get hands-on with Kiro, a new agentic IDE. With the launch of Kiro, you can see how it's pushing boundaries for how AI is changing software. If we go back a couple years, we can reflect on a tool like autocomplete. Groundbreaking, right? It's excelled at tactile coding, but it struggled with strategic thinking. You, as a developer, still needed to architect solutions, break down problems, and maintain the bigger picture yourselves. And then last year, we saw a trend towards chat-based AI coding, really pushing the limits of accelerating developer productivity. Awesome stuff, right? Natural language, AI can help me write code, AI can help explain code, all conversationally. But now we're in a new era with agents. These goal-seeking tools, with the help of a human, can get you where you want to go even faster. And this is where we're at with Kiro, with what we call spec-driven development. We built this to up-level the whole vibe coding experience. We heard some folks, community members sharing their experience with vibe coding, and you can end up in a tough spot, in particular, if you're trying to build a real-world production application, because that lens was just a bit too narrow. So now imagine we open that up to take a broader view of the software development lifecycle. And that's where spec-driven development can really shine. Imagine describing what you want to build in plain English, and the AI creates not just a code, but the entire roadmap. I'm talking about the requirements, the architecture, breakdown of all the tasks and everything. That's spec-driven development. And it's completely changing how we build software. So for this hackathon, we'd encourage you to use Kiro. There'll be $15,000 in cash prizes related to the best Kiro experience. We want you to leverage Kiro in creative ways that make us scratch our head. Why didn't we think of that? And the top winner will get $10,000, and there'll be 5 additional $1,000 winners. Some of you may have heard about Kiro or might be currently on a wait list to get access to Kiro. Rest assured, when you sign up for the hackathon, you will mark yourself as a participant, and we'll be sending out codes. You can essentially fast track your way off the wait list. That said, all right, I think some of y'all might be eager to see this in action. So I'm going to pass it over to Armando, who is going to show a live demo of Kiro. building a Reddit game. Over to you, Armando.
Thanks, Jonathan. Hey, everyone. My name is Armando Vargas, and I'm a solutions architect. And today I'll be showing you how to build a Reddit game in less than 5 minutes. So first, let's create the game. So we have created a guidance that has all the information that you need to create your games step by step. So first, let's create a project using Reddit templates. So for this demo, I will use React, but you can also use other frameworks like Phaser for creating like 2D games or 3JS for creating 3D games. So I create React, and then we'll give a cool name. And click on OK. Then I confirm that I'm not a robot. Of course, it's a live demo, so I appreciate your patience. Okay, so now we need to approve the integration between the CLI, which is the Devvit tool, and our Reddit account. We click on accept. This will create the project for us. Once this is done, we'll get 3 commands. The first one is to create your project. So I will copy this command. I'll go to my terminal. I'll paste this command. So what this command will do, it will create a new Devvit project in our computer, and it will get all the different dependencies and files that are needed for my Reddit game. Okay, so my project is ready. So now I can just cd into my project. So now what we are going to do next is we are going to go to Kiro, and we are going to open the project that we just created, my cool Tetris. So I open the project. Then I need to click on yes, I trust the authors because I'm the owner of that. And then so we have Kiro here. So let me just explain some of the options that we have here. So the first is this one. This will show you all the contents of your project. So the tool will create a project file, and then you will see all the different components for the client, for the server, all the configuration files that are needed for your game. And then if we go to the Kiro section, then we'll be able to start our game. So for this example, so let's get a game. So I created a prompt that I will be using for this. So let me just copy paste here. And then, so what I'm doing with this prompt, I'm saying that we need to bonify this game. So we would like to build a Tetris-like game, and then all the requirements of the game. What I like about Kiro in particular is that it has 2 modes. The spec-driven one, that is, you define the requirements, so you specify exactly what are the features that you would like to see in the game, colors, look and feel, and then for the vibe option is just for quick development. You just specify what you want, and the tool will do it. So the Kiro will read all the necessary files, and it will try to understand exactly what are the most important components, what are the client files, server files, and it will start building your game. While this builds, I will just explain a few things that you see on the left-hand side. So first, you have agent hooks. So all those hooks are just actions that you can create. For example, after you make a change in the code, you need to run a test, for example. In this one, we can see client README updater, which is just, it will keep your README file up to date. After making any modifications to your game, it will just keep the file up to date. So in this screen, we can see all the steps. So it's analyzing all the different files, and it's creating all the components that are needed, creating all the styles, the UI, and the integration with Reddit services. Another section that you see in this UI is the agent steering. That is just a mechanism that we can leverage just to provide more context about the project that we are building. So we have created a few files just so the tool can understand what we are trying to build, and it includes some guidance on what needs to be implemented and how. So you can see, for example, general best practices. You can also find this Devvit platform guide, which includes the structure of the project, and then all the different folders and what is the purpose of those folders. And then, okay, so it's finally done. So we can see a summary, we can see step by step how this tool was building the solution. And then we can see all the a summary with all the changes. Now, as a next step, we are going to test this one. So the only thing that we need is to run this command. So this will start the development server and we'll be able to test. So the CLI will create a subreddit for us so we can test it. So sometimes this happens. But if this happens, we can just, this process just failed while trying to create a subreddit for us. So we are going to use an existing one. In the guidance that we created, there is a troubleshooting file that includes some steps on how to solve some of the issues that you might see during the development of this. So now this is ready. So we can just copy paste our URL into the browser, and then we'll be able to start our game. So if we click here, oh, it seems something, let me see. Okay, let me show you this. If you open the game, then you will be able to play your game. So it has just the classic Tetris layout. You can see the score, you can see, you can restart your game. And it also includes an integration with Reddit, so you can see your username. So, and it is not just for 3D games or 2D games. You can also create just 3D experiences. For example, using a similar process, I used the 3JS framework, and then I was able to build this 3D experience. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, so I hope everyone's extremely excited after seeing what's possible with Kiro. I saw some questions coming in, but just some quick plugs. If you want to get started with Devvit, scan the QR code on the left. That'll take you to our documentation and the getting started there. In the middle, this is how you join the hackathon. Remember, by joining the hackathon and creating a project, you will get access to Kiro. So definitely do that. On the right is more information on Kiro as well. For the most part, I saw we were answering the questions pretty well as this was happening. I did see a question about unique experiences and creating those. One thing I wanted to mention is that, as I mentioned kind of near the top, we have the Reddity category for Game Awards. So, if it is a completely not unique idea, then it probably won't feel very Reddity. We want to make sure that this fits on our platform. But we do see a lot of success with taking something that has existed in the past and adapting that for Reddit. So I think that's really where you want to lean into. How can I enable that community play, maybe around something familiar to people? So you can definitely lean in there. But for more questions, and if you have any other thoughts, please join our Discord. You can find a link to that in our docs as well. And we will see you. We'll see you over there. I don't know, Jonathan, Armando, anything else to add on the Kiro side?
Excited to see what people build.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you on Discord.